We're going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock, saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jeff.
Jenny's unable to be here tonight, so I'm going to kind of help fill in for her. So we'll do a roll call. Dan?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yes.
And then Ben, myself, is here. Do we have any guest speakers?
You should want to do the contracts.
We can do that real quick, yeah. Before we do anything else, I want to remind anybody that has any kind of audio and video equipment, video in particular, needs to remain in the box over there and face towards the table. You can only have the trustees in the picture. I believe that there was a motion made on that a while ago, right?
I think there was.
If not, I mean, I'll just make another motion that all video recording equipment that's going to take video footage needs to remain in the designated area, which is the box over there. Needs to be on the trustees. No video recording of anybody in the public.
And I'll second it.
Do a roll call. Dan?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Abstain.
Ben? Yes. All right, we're going to skip ahead real quick to the road bids. We got one road bid. We advertised for road bids. Without an advertisement, nobody wants to see that. That's here.
I'd like to see it.
Make sure I get it right. In the paper. We had one bid turned in from Smalls Asphalt. You get over it?
Do you know if anybody checked the box today?
Yes, Jenny did.
I'd like to request that we all get copies of this bid. Like we discussed at the last meeting, we weren't going to bid it tonight.
Right.
So it's no sense taking a lot of time. If we can all get a copy of it to review on our own, that's what I would like to do. And we probably should set a date, since the ad says it'll be determined by July 30th at 8 p.m. So we need to set a date to do that, unless you want to do it at the next July meeting.
Let's do it the next July meeting.
Fine.
Because that, they won't accept it. It'll be after the July 28th that they'll.
We can't, right, we can't accept any bid until after we receive the money from it.
Okay.
So
That'll be after, in July.
our meeting in July is going to be the 30th. July 30th.
Okay.
Just maybe next week, try to get that on the agenda. Guess it's already on there if you leave it on there.
Everything seemed to be there.
Yeah.
I'll ask Jenny to make a copy for everybody. We have somebody here from Smalls. Is there anything that you wanted to add or talk to us about, anything like that? All right, well, we'll just go ahead and set the date of the July meeting that we'll discuss further. If we only got one bid, I mean, we can put out for bids again if you guys want to do that. Or we can just review this one and either accept or reject it.
Oh, we got, can we award it the last of the month? Or will we have our money by the last of the month?
Of this month? Next month, July, yes. Yes, so we can award it next meeting.
Okay. I'll just say we just award it the next meeting.
Okay. All right, so I intend to get copies for all of us, and we can review it at home.
Already.
We invite you to come back next month. If you want to come back in July, you're more than welcome. It'll be on July 30th. Correspondence. Legal notice for ad in the paper. Insurance cards for vehicles. Old stuff. That's it. That's all I have. Communication and everything else was just nonsense stuff. Do you have anything? Do you have anything? Communication?
There's a letter here on the table from Operation Roundup. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. It's probably requesting copies of receipts and invoices to finalize the paperwork. I don't have written down when the next committee meeting is. Is that set?
When is it? Yeah.
Is it the third Tuesday? 16th? That's what.
What time?
I'll get with, if that's what it is, I'll get with Jenny and ask her for copies of everything, because we want to get that requirement taken care of.
Was that correspondence that he's presenting? Because if it is, he should read it,
And the operation.
so we know what it is.
You can read it if
Instead
you
of
want.
probably
I already
thinking
told you
it's
what it
something.
is. I just read the cover sheet. This is the part that's significant here. In addition, Energy Cooperative is to be provided with a written report of the use of the grant funds, which includes the following: a narrative outlining what was accomplished by the expenditure of funds and information to substantiate the funds awarded, such as copies of invoices, pictures of equipment purchased, or a statement describing specifically how the funds were used, and a statement certifying that you have completed with the terms and conditions of the grant. This is attested by a responsible officer. Such a report is to be furnished by the end of the fiscal year. That's pretty much it.
Are you going to take that with you?
Yeah.
Can I get a copy of that? Jenny
Sure.
also needs a
Sure.
copy of it.
It seems to be an issue a lot with the copies and things. Does the township still own a copy machine? Because I'd like to move the motion that we move the copy machine from the fiscal officer's house to the township building. And we won't have these kind of issues anymore.
What are you going to do? Get up during a meeting and make a copy, or what?
Sure, after the meeting, before the meeting, it'd be a whole lot easier than having to struggle with this.
All right. Any other correspondence?
There's no second to the motion then?
That's correct. Any other correspondence?
I don't have any.
You didn't have none. Good reports, safety. I think everything's pretty much on par. We're fixing things. Fire company, and they're working for that. Zoning,
have nothing for this month.
Under zoning, several months ago, I asked for some records. Could you get an update on that?
Did you give me exactly what you wanted?
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. I have yet to
Okay.
receive anything telling me
Then I will ask
exactly
you
what you want.
specifically, are there any open files right now of unresolved issues with zoning?
Define your open files.
Anything has not been resolved?
She gives us whole papers at the same
You've
time.
received copies of every single thing that I brought to you. Automobiles, also for the jumps, the violations and everything. You've received
We got
every
them all.
copy.
No, I
So,
haven't.
yes, you have.
Well, then what'd you do
Every
with it?
meeting, I gave them to you when I had a violation.
I
You
actually
received the
also asked for a
copies, yes.
copy of the tape and the last junk car meeting. I've yet to get that. I see that it's listed online now, but the link doesn't work, so the file's still not there. So I still don't know what the two of you did. Some of you were both here at the last junk car meeting. I don't have any meeting minutes, I don't have any tape, nothing.
Should've been here.
It's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is,
That's your duty, you're supposed to attend meetings.
no.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, I have every right to that information. It's public information. Everybody has a right to it, and I certainly do too.
Okay.
Well, you've received all the records from me
No, I
as
have
they
not.
came in front of you.
She
Yes,
passed
you
them around to
have.
every one of us.
I've got a copy of
I
every
got a
violation.
copy of
sheet.
every one of them.
Every single
So
one.
what's your response to what
You've
file,
received your
what
copy.
issues are still open files? What has not been resolved or followed through to the end?
Everything you have hasn't been resolved yet. There you go.
We got them, Jeff. She
We're
handed-
still waiting on prosecuting attorney.
For what? Which issues?
You brought, it was sitting right here at this table, it was brought up to you. On Livingston and Step. You have those files in your hands also.
So you're telling me that there are open files with Livingston and Steck that are not resolved yet?
You're right.
And you're saying that that is in the hands of the prosecutor?
Prosecuting attorney. So I can't do anything, can I?
And what are we waiting for from the prosecuting attorney?
Her to contact us? She's a very busy woman. That's what she keeps saying.
Nothing else for zoning? Nothing
No,
else?
I didn't have anything to start with.
Very good, thank you. Zoning board, question, nothing for them.
Yes, that's it.
Zoning appeals,
And that's why I'm not getting it.
comprehensive plan, park committee,
Is that a report for the board? Why don't you read it to us?
township building bookings is in June, June 2nd, June 19th, and June 23rd were all, I'm sorry, two of them were $25 and one of them was 20. July bookings were July, are coming up are July 5th, 6th, 7th, and 13th, and there's no prices on those. We'll be putting in bricks before Labor Day. All bricks are in that we have ordered. And then the supplies they need: paper towels, garbage bags, all-purpose cleaner, toilet bowl cleaner, and dish soap. Then there was, these must be the July ones that are coming up. Oh, these are from June. Money from juniors, the 220, the 225s, and the 20 from June. All that'll go to Jenny. Is that it? Awesome, thank you. Unfinished business, road bid, we did that. We'll look at that, next month we'll review it.
Yep.
And then have an answer by next month. So, I had under unfinished business was the park mulch project got finished. We did that. Thank the volunteers that came and did that. We had a good group of people again that came and helped. We spent $337 on mulch, which was 12 cubic yards plus delivery. We spent a few hours down there spreading it out. Very thankful for the volunteers that came down and helped. Was kind of disappointed that nobody from the park committee came and helped, but it is what it is. So I want to thank the people that did come. Unfinished business. That's all I have.
We're still on the park,
Under unfinished business, yeah.
unfinished business, how much total was that for the park?
I'm gonna need that too for this report, so
She'll
we'll
get
have
you the
to
receipts.
provide copies of whatever that is. Should also include any expenses like payroll that was put out for anything to do with it.
Approximately, right around $1,287. It costs to put that back in.
Okay, how much did it cost to take it out?
To take it out, $1,287.
Okay, so the total thing.
Zero. Took nothing to
Did
take
we
it
not
out.
pay wages?
To take it, no, we
They
didn't.
attempted to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Nobody was paid.
but there was a timesheet turned in for it.
Nobody was paid to take it out. The answer is zero.
Okay, is zero for take it out, for 1,200 to put it back in?
Clean up the
Right,
mess.
clean up the mess. I still say Mr. Chorpenning should pay for this.
Again, we need to get a final report with actual receipts and everything, so we finalize this grant properly.
Send an email to Jenny and ask her for the receipts. She'll also get a copy of that. She should have got sent that actually. So
Sitting here,
instead of you.
it
So.
says Bowling Green Township Park Committee, and it has my name in the P.O. box.
Yeah.
Sitting here tonight, so.
I have a question reference to park.
Go ahead.
This grant report that Mr. Chorpenning brought up, the comment was made that to get with the clerk and she would write up a report and get the receipts and everything, correct, for this grant?
We need the info, I read it.
Is that
I
what-
read the pertinent part of it. We all heard it.
What do you need? The receipts, right?
Yeah, we need the receipts and everything, all the expenses to show that we did what we were supposed to
So
do.
he's going to ask Jenny for the receipts.
Now,
That's what we need.
and I heard a
It
report.
says it has to be within
written
a year.
out.
We can bring it to the next meeting if there's ample time. We don't have to mail anything in until everybody looks at it.
The park committee can write
Yeah,
it.
we
I-
double
I
checks it,
understand
make sure the
report
expenses
is
are
to be
right.
written up.
Okay.
My question is, why would Jenny have to write the report? Why wouldn't the park committee write the report, present it to Jenny, let her review it, and decide if that's appropriate to go forward since it has to go through an official? She's not the one that requested the grant. She's not the one that got the grant.
That's true.
Mr. Chorpenning's the one that got the grant.
It is true that she
So he should
didn't.
officially, I'm speaking, I got the floor, he
Well,
acknowledged me.
what you're
Don't
saying
mind.
is not a problem at all. I already
Excuse
said
me.
it.
I'm
We're not
going
somebody
to
talking.
finish. You rude ass
Go ahead.
individual.
Go ahead.
Jeez.
So don't you feel that Jenny should review it and the park committee should write it up?
Yes, they should be in
It's a
charge of
non-issue.
writing it up. Correct.
Thank
They
you.
need to request the receipts, get the receipts, they can write the report, bring it to the table where we can all review it.
It's a non-issue.
No, we're all going to review it.
It is an issue. It's been an issue.
It's not an issue for me.
It's an issue.
Well, that's
You think
that's what
it's
needs to happen,
personal
Jeff.
opinion.
Okay?
I've already
Of course,
said to
everybody
do
has
that.
personal
That's what needs to
opinion,
happen.
we
I
know
already
that.
stated that before the
Now-
Make
drama
sure that's how it
started.
happens.
It's not a problem. It's a requirement, so we will be doing it.
Don't be sending anything in on your own or anything
There
like
is no
that.
code of conduct up here. Mr. Chorpenning interrupts.
You don't tell me
everybody.
how to
It's nobody else to
operate
interrupt you.
my seat, and I don't tell you how to
You
operate
interrupted
yours.
Don't be
me,
sending
now I
That's
anything
what
interrupt
in
you
on
you.
your
need
own
to
like you did
understand.
before.
Isn't that rude?
I didn't send paperwork in on my own, Mr. Hub.
You did.
No. And I didn't come here to argue with you. I came here to conduct township business. So let's keep it professional this evening.
That's true.
The grant came in front of the board before you sent it in? It did not. Is that
Are you going to
correct?
start your Hub drama again?
No, I'm asking you a question.
I've got
Do you want to be
nothing further to
professional
say
and talk
on
to
it.
me or not?
I think that we've discussed it, and we are going to have it at the next meeting, and there's nothing further needed to be
Answer
discussed.
my question.
It wasn't brought before the board.
So why would you say it was? It was not.
Don't put words in my mouth. Like I said, I conduct my business my way, you conduct it yours your way. You don't
make
tell
sure
me how to
when that gets
operate.
written up, it comes in front of the board, okay? That's
We've
what it
already
needs to do.
discussed this.
That's what
Make
it
a
needs to
motion.
do.
We've already
You don't make a
discussed
motion, it
this.
won't go in front of
It's
the
a
board.
non-issue. It's been
It will come in
discussed.
front of the board.
Make a motion.
It's a non-issue.
Do you have any other unfinished business?
No.
Do you have any unfinished business?
Yeah, I've been contacted quite a bit lately. People
I
are
don't know
concerned.
how I can't get a hold of you.
People have been concerned about why they can't get meeting agendas in advance of the meeting and that type of thing. So if somebody could make some kind of effort to get that done, the best that they can get now is the meeting agenda from last June. So it really doesn't tell them what's on the agenda for current topics.
Come to the meeting, there's plenty of them.
They shouldn't need to come to a meeting. This is 2013.
Okay.
And we've got a website that it can be updated to.
After 12, before 14, you're good.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Don't understand. After what?
Yeah, you got it.
No, I didn't.
You're right.
That's why
you
I'm
don't-
asking.
You're right. You don't understand, Jeff. Do you have any other unfinished business?
So do you agree
It's
with
a
that?
non-issue, Jeff. It's a non-issue, okay?
Dan, how do you feel about that?
I don't see how people contacted you when I
No,
tried
I'm
for
talking
2
about the
weeks.
agenda being on the website in advance so people can know what topics will be at the
Was a
meeting.
motion made to
Do
put
you have
that on there?
anything to say about that?
No, it can be on
Then a
after
motion needs to be made.
we have a meeting and
Come to the meeting. They can get it in. We can discuss it.
Got nothing further on
Dan
it.
asked you a question.
I had an opportunity to bring it forward, so.
Go ahead.
That's
Do you
all
have a
I know.
question for him?
well, I don't know how all these people get a hold of him when I tried for a couple weeks to get a hold of him.
You know where I live, Dan. We're at a meeting tonight. What do you want to talk about? What's your township business issue that you want to discuss?
What I wanted to discuss with you was Jenny printed me out a copy of the specs for the chip and seal, the bid to send out.
All right.
And you took it.
I have a copy of it.
Yeah,
She
you
gave
got,
it to me at the last meeting.
she gave you my copy. And all I was wanting to know, if you was done with it, I would like to have it back so she didn't have to print out another one.
Okay. Well, you know where I live, Dan. You've been there before. If you have trouble communicating, you know where I am.
I got a telephone and I kept calling.
How does it feel, Dan? For 10 years, I've tried to communicate with you, and that's how I get a response. I've been available. If there was an emergency or something needed, you've been there before.
always
You know where to go.
Yeah, but I got a telephone. It costs money to run over there and gas, and all I gotta do is push a button and call, like everybody pushes a button calls you.
That's not the way it's happened. I don't get calls. I don't get communications. It works two ways, Dan.
You just said you received all these calls from people.
So to get back to that,
Contradicted. Did you get that on recording?
are you questioning the fact that people contacted me? Are you thinking
Am
that
I
I make
questioning
things
it?
up?
No. What I'm questioning, why don't you return your calls when people call you?
I do return my calls when people call me.
Dan's not the only one that's called. I
Dan,
called
if
you
you've got, I
like
already
messages.
told you, if you've got township business to conduct, bring it to the township table. If you got something personal, drive up my driveway, knock on my door, and let's talk, okay?
So, I got a question.
If it's
So
about
your
a
trustees
copy,
only work this
excuse
day?
me, you don't
That's
have
it?
the
Only
floor.
this day? Because that's what he's saying. You guys are
Who
not
has
to
the floor,
communicate
Mr. Hart?
outside of this day,
Is
this
she
hour.
running your meeting for you?
Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what you're hearing.
So I'm paying you guys for one freaking day, at least that lazy man right there? Because I know you two are out working.
I can have
Seen
more than
it.
one
Is
day.
she
in
But
my
I've
running the
never seen
meeting or
that
are you
lazy
running
man
the
She
meeting?
had a legitimate question.
So she's running the meeting?
She had a legitimate question.
Not running the meeting, interrupting you.
The only
So
time
you're
It's like you
interrupting.
interrupt me.
So you recognize I have the table and you're interrupting.
You gotcha.
the only
You
time
inter-
anybody
you
sees you
do
or
like
hears
that
from you.
At
table.
least you
You
know what you're
interrupted
doing.
me.
At least you know what you're doing.
All right. The only
Oh,
time the
yeah.
only time anybody sees you or hears from you is at the business meeting.
That's not accurate.
Yes, it
Didn't
is.
even go to the park stuff.
Could I make a statement?
What are you waiting until public comment and go ahead and officially?
Who's running the meeting? You or me?
Well, I can't really tell because you're letting it
Well,
happen.
let me tell you. Let me clue you in on who's running. I am. Okay. Do you have a question?
Yes. Taking down trees. I seen you sitting in the car, Gary Stepp taking pictures. I didn't see you offer. These people that lives out here on open woods. We had roads closed. We had to get ambulance in there. People. I didn't see you, Jeff. I never see you when there's an emergency. Now, what is the problem? You can't talk to me.
I don't have a communication
Besides that,
problem.
Is
did
this-
you put a clock on the gas so I couldn't mow the park on the gas tank?
Yeah, who changed the lock
I
on
took the
there?
key.
Nobody changed any locks.
Well, it
lately.
was too changed.
What's that key for?
I went and cut the lock off the gas tank because we couldn't get into the gas tank. And the lock on the building over there was different, so I got a package of 3 locks and.
Somebody changed the
so
locks,
we got
and nobody
one-
had a key. I didn't change it, and I didn't have a key.
So we got
Okay.
one
No.
key fits both locks
Somebody
now.
must have switched something because when the thing was for sale out here, I saw a lock on that and I wanted to see if I had a key to it because I thought I had it sold to the guy. And one of my keys to one of the locks opened it. So somebody took a key off of something and put it on the chain out there.
I took
So
it
you,
all I was told.
that's probably when it got mixed around.
So
but I
what, they
haven't
call you
changed any
about that?
locks.
They called you about it?
The one I showed it to is when I happened to be down here and I showed it to him. So, didn't hear any updates on that. Did we get $600?
We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Where is that gonna be?
We can discuss it, we're not done yet.
Unfinished business?
We're not done yet,
I'm
okay?
asking where it's gonna be.
We're not done yet, okay?
I think this man should be evaluated by a doctor to see if he's capable of even running a business or being in something.
You know, you want to talk about communication. How about when we did a cleanup with the Boy Scouts and you beat feet out of here with the vest and we had some workers that were looking for him, found you and you couldn't even talk to them to let them know that you had the vest.
I'm here to conduct
Is that
township
correct or
business,
not?
and here you are with more drama.
Sat in the middle of the board.
It's not drama, Jeff.
It is
It's
drama.
the truth.
It's not the truth. It's your version of the truth.
Jack, tell me what happened that day.
You called it.
Just wait a second. Point of order.
Please interrupt.
Are we now on public comment?
No, tell me what happened.
What are we doing?
Business.
We're discussing.
You're discussing.
Tell me what happened.
Discussing
And
business.
Donnie, get up there and help him if you couldn't get here, or Danny couldn't get here. We come down, we couldn't find no vest. I called you, he said, take the truck and go see what you can do. We looked for him, there's a wreck, a tractor come off a trailer. Jeff sitting in the middle of the road taking pictures. Donnie said, Jeff, you got the vest? He looked at him, wound the window up. We turned around, went back, and tried to get ahead of us over on Philly Road. We drove in, we got the kids, and then he come dragging in the vest.
So you couldn't even
It just
communicate with
goes
these
on
two
and
gentlemen to let them know that you had the safety vest,
The
which
drama
could have put,
continues.
which could have put
Children.
20 kids in jeopardy.
Jeff, you're
Go
just
ahead.
simple.
Make
You don't know
up
what
make
you're
up your
doing.
stories. Go ahead.
It
It's
ain't
not
gonna
a
make up
story.
stories,
It's
Jeff.
the truth.
Ain't
It's your
making up
version.
nothing.
What's your version? Tell me your version. Tell me your version.
Doesn't matter.
Let me hear your version.
I'm not here
Come on, lay
to
it out there. Let me hear it.
keep it up.
Lay it out there.
Communicate.
How much
Jerry,
attention
can't
do you want?
communicate.
Lay it out there. Let me hear your version of the story.
There's no point in it.
What do you mean, no point?
I was there for the entire thing. I assisted the
Can't you
scouts
hold
from the
yourself
beginning to
accountable
the
for
end.
your own actions?
That's about it.
You was late getting there.
You were
I was there on time.
No, you wasn't.
I know more about it than you do.
You
Really?
got it on
Yes.
recording?
I started that program with the scouts when my son was in it,
Yeah.
and it's
So,
continued.
so all the year, the few years you never sat at this table, you never showed up to pick up trash.
So you weren't there
So
this time.
pat
So
yourself on the back, Jeff.
No.
Pat yourself on the back.
He needs the brown.
nobody's patting anybody on the back.
Said he's capable.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Why couldn't you
If you want to
communicate? Why?
discuss that matter further, why don't you put it on the agenda?
No, we're discussing it. Why couldn't you?
And then we'll
communicate?
have all the Boy Scouts come in.
Who's talking?
And they can, are you asking me, do you want to answer, or you just
I
want
want
to
you
be
to
a
listen to my
dictator?
words. I want you to listen to my words. Why couldn't you communicate with these two gentlemen when they talked to you and asked you if you had a safety vest? You're putting, how many kids were there, Jack? 20?
I'd say
15?
20, 25.
You're putting 20, 25 kids in jeopardy.
No.
Because they weren't wearing safety equipment.
That's not correct. That is not accurate.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious.
What is it?
You're saying that they never stopped and asked you about the vest?
I'm saying there were no children in jeopardy.
Did they stop and
They
ask you
all
about
had
that?
safety vests and
Did you,
everything.
did they stop and ask you?
They drove up to me harassing me.
Harassed.
That's what happened. And when somebody drives up next to me in a township truck that has a history of harassing me and doing damage to my property, I am not going to get out of the truck or deal with their screaming and
I'm
yelling, all
telling
right?
people he needs to go to the doctor and get vitamin.
Now go ahead and keep it up. This is how our township is run by
is
our
that-
president.
is that your
This is
version?
an open, free for
You're
all.
sick, Jeff.
So is that your version of the story? I want to know what happened. I wasn't there. I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
Well,
You should have been there then. I think we should move along here.
Oh, you're stuck, Jeff. You're stuck.
All right?
This will be in the next weekend, you know.
Good, good.
Because Gary Steph will write about it, because you'll write it for him and give it to him.
All right. All right, we're going to move on.
Really?
We're going to move on.
You think I'm going to
Do you have
waste
any
my
other
time
unfinished business?
with trivial, dramatic stupidity? I'm not
Jeff,
going
hey,
to.
Jeff, do you have any other
Every
unfinished
day.
business?
Are we going to move on to,
Jeff, do you have any other unfinished business?
Apparently, we are going to discuss the sale of the equipment.
Okay. Do you have any other unfinished business? No. Is that it?
That is a topic.
That's it. Okay. We sold the 2 pieces of equipment. We got what we were asking out of them. We sold the brush hog for $400, the blade for $200. The money was turned over to Jenny, so it could be put in our account.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're both sold to local residents.
So you took the key off, the lock off of that, and where's that lock now?
Out there.
This is to something brand new?
That's the gas and the building over there. That key fits both locks.
Okay. Where's my copy of the key to the east side of the building when the lock was changed?
East side.
When they changed the locks over there.
I think it's locked from the inside too. That's the same lock. I think the lock's on the inside.
How could it be the same lock if it's a new one?
New doorknob.
Did they take the key and have a lock made to it? I don't think.
What did you guys put on there when you put it on the back door?
I didn't have nothing to do with it.
No, no, watch it up. I don't have a copy of it either.
Because I don't have anything that opens that east side and need it.
It's got locks on the inside.
It's got a lock on the inside.
I need access from the outside too.
So you're gonna go through the west side and walk through it on top. That's how you do it.
In case of an emergency or something, we need to have a key to that door. And somebody who purchased it has it.
What kind of emergency would you have there?
Whoever purchased the lock, they come with keys. All right? We need one.
We
And
can
we
ask.
should put it in a box back here so we can all get access to that door.
I
all
think
there
you
is
could
to
go
it.
in there and slide the bolts so the kids can't move it shut. Unlock it from the inside, put the car, you're gonna be getting
Yeah.
Common sense.
Right.
Well, there are issues with that bolt, and we've gone through that before with egress, and in order to get the proper occupancy permit that the board years ago said we were going to do.
Well, why haven't you done anything about it, Jeff? All you do is
Dan?
just talk about it. You do not do anything about anything.
Yes, he does. He puts tape on the door to hold it from falling apart.
That's your
It's
Your
the
version of the
truth.
story.
That's your
version of the
version.
story.
It is.
It's just the truth.
It's your truth. It's not reality.
I want to, have you
Okay.
seen it? Has anybody seen the reality? I haven't seen it.
Okay, well,
All right. I think that's all for unfinished business. Does anybody have any questions about that blade and that brush hog?
no, it's sold.
I don't know how you had nerve enough to beat the people other than mine.
No. You still have some use in it. It's still painted yellow.
You're lucky.
Yeah. All right. New business. I
don't have anything.
I'd like to think of. Jeff?
I just question why the road, the trash contract's been removed from the agenda altogether. It should still probably be old business. What's the update on that?
Last time I talked to Amy, she was still in the works with that. Last time I talked to her, she was going to talk to Mr. Shackelford from CMI and just advise him of it. And I
Well, the
don't know where
last
it's at.
time, the board took an action a couple months ago by a vote, 2-1.
It got turned over to the
to
prosecutor's office.
proceed to cut a check. The prosecutor had said she wanted if we were pursuing it. We moved that motion. Last month, the fiscal officer said she forgot the check. I see it's not on here now. So has the check been cut in between meetings, or, why don't we have that check
I talked to
tonight?
Jenny about it. She said the money was supposed to be allocated, the funds were supposed to be set aside. They didn't need a check now, so she hasn't cut the check to them because they don't want it now.
Oh, they changed their mind, or they said when they want it, or what?
The funds were supposed to be set aside, so the funds were set aside.
All right. So there's no time frame on this?
When the prosecutor's office gets to it, it's all been turned over to the prosecutor's office, Jeff.
You don't get that.
It does not.
When the prosecutor's office gets to it.
Would you like her phone number too?
When's the last time you spoke with her about it?
A few days about that? A few
Yeah.
days ago, I don't know, a week ago.
Well, I want to ask that you put on the agenda under unfinished business for next month, because it needs addressed as it follows through process.
And she usually does that by sending myself, yourself, and Jenny emails. Anything else? Or new business? good on the roads, everything?
Everything's in good shape. I'd like to
Well-
ask him a question.
We'll have to get a little bit of cold
That's
mix.
what I'm gonna ask you, try to get
Yeah,
some.
we need.
Compliments.
And that guy said they didn't have any small private down there.
He's gonna call me tomorrow, so
Oh,
he's
he's
gonna call tomorrow and find out.
You guys think about this week, next week? It's gonna be hot this week.
Yeah, it'd be hot. Just pick
I
it
don't
up.
have a husband, it's my relative.
Alright, well, just let us know when you gotta get it.
I would like to know if he's a third party on the trustee, which he claims to be. He's always demanded copies of this, copies of that. Does he ever do anything on his own besides ask for copies or anything? Jeff, do you?
Is this public comment? Have we moved to that?
We have.
I wouldn't put the tape recorder on, the camera on.
I have a question
Is
in
that video-
reference to his audio crap. Can you make a motion one item? One? Does he not have a camera over there?
I didn't say.
Now he
I
has two
didn't-
things?
I didn't say one, I said all video recording equipment needs to be in the box, Jeff. It needs to be over there in the
Yeah,
designated area.
and you stated that only the people up here can be recorded. You can't record us.
Correct. Are you recording video?
Are you videoing?
This is a video camera, yes. I just
Are
turned
you
it on.
Are
videoing
you
them?
recording
Yes,
video
I
or
am.
audio?
This
Where
is a
does it
public
go?
meeting. This is a public meeting.
You're not allowed to record us. A motion was made.
I am allowed to record.
No,
You are not.
You are not.
Excuse me, Sunshine Law, he is not allowed to video these people. Now, you
You are
guys
not.
put it down.
You're not allowed to video.
Call the sheriff. He's not allowed.
Stop the meeting.
He is not
Stop the
allowed.
meeting.
I know the Sunshine Law.
Well, we're gonna stop the meeting, we're not gonna
This has
proceed.
nothing to do with Ohio sunshine laws. Sunshine laws are about public information be available to the
You are
public.
not allowed to copy, to video any people in the meeting
And the
besides
trustees
the
can also
trustees.
The
set the
motion was
meeting.
set there and made again.
Now, don't be so stupid.
Jeff,
Any motion that's made cannot supersede other laws.
That isn't the law.
Jeff, you have the right to videotape the elected officials, okay?
It's a public
Listen,
meeting. Anything
listen.
that happens here is a public.
We have the right to designate where the cameras have to be, okay? The cameras need to be over there in the designated area, okay?
I'll wait for
Do you
your
see
court
it?
order. You go ahead and you get your court order.
Stop the meeting
It
or
says
call the
so.
sheriff. This is
Okay.
wrong. He's not allowed to put us on the internet.
Oh, Sheriff, Benji, be done with it.
I still think it's a go get
He's
him out.
still recording right now.
I'd stand behind him.
I'm telling you, he's not allowed to
Turn
do
it
that.
back. Turn it back.
Just go stand behind him.
No, I'm
Ron?
saying right here.
Just stand behind him. That way
You're
you
not
can be
allowed
on
to do
there.
this, guys. You need to call the cops or something to get this straight, so you get the meeting over with.
I do, I wanna finish it. You need to
It
finish
depends
it.
on how much attention you want. Are you ready? I'll move the motion and we pay bills.
No, we want to
You need to
ask
turn the video
questions.
camera off the audience. You can put it on us all day long. That's fine, it needs to be in the designated area
You agreed to it.
and facing this way.
The motion was
Everybody
made.
just get behind him.
Call the sheriff.
I move the
He's
motion
violating the
to
rules
pay
of our
bills.
township. Call the sheriff.
Did you take a picture of yourself now?
Now, he's taking a minute, yeah.
Ben, call the sheriff.
I'm telling you guys, you guys need to get this meeting together. You guys playing around like little dogs.
It's hard to work with a sick.
Somebody's sick, you need to go to the doctor.
Wait, mentally ill.
Ben, are you going to hold him accountable for what he is doing?
I guess.
You made a motion,
He better be able to hold himself accountable.
and he is violating that motion.
I hope the attorney sees this.
It doesn't
It's not
matter.
him with blue box.
They'll know what we're going through.
Hey, Benji, can we contact the attorney? All of us in here.
Hey,
with a
here, she
complaint.
knows. No. Is he allowed to put the video on us? I understand when I was president, he was not. The video stayed on the trustees. Am I not right?
That's what I
That's what we always
understood.
were.
And they
And
just
they made another
made
motion today.
Now, he needs
And he's
lock it
got the
off,
whole camera
or
recording.
call the
it.
cops, or something gotta be done. Now, somebody's gotta get some nerve.
Are you gonna turn the video camera off or are you gonna put it in the designated area? Simple question, yes or no? Jeff, can you hear me?
Take
I
it
move the motion to
off
pay
the
bills.
Jeff, Can
And
you hear
I'll
me?
wait until you're ready to continue with the business.
Jeff, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jeff?
I don't think he can.
Oh.
He's way off
Jeff,
the wall on it.
Can you hear me?
Call squad.
Are you going to move the camera to the designated area or not?
Nancy said yes.
We're done, we're not going to finish the meeting?
Call the sheriff.
Call the sheriff.
Is that a motion
We have-
to adjourn?
We have public comments, we have the right to.
Is that a
public
motion to
comments.
adjourn?
Call the sheriff.
Don't put words in my mouth, all right?
Call the sheriff.
I'm asking a
then.
question, I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Call
Stop.
the
If we're not gonna
sheriff.
continue, are we
He asked
adjourning?
your question, you didn't answer.
I'm going to sit right here until you put that camera in that box.
He's one sick man.
I don't have my phone. He's got a phone.
There will be repercussions against that, Jeff, there really will.
You need to call the sheriff. You need to call the sheriff. Call the sheriff.
Depends on how much attention you want. You
Call
get as
the
much
sheriff.
attention as
So is that what you want, Jeff? You want attention drawn? Is that what you want? Is that what you're here for?
You're determining that. I'm
Is that what you're here for?
That's all he's here for is attention.
Everybody knows.
And just see the look on his face.
Hey, Benji, everybody here is going to tell the sheriff, we don't want camcorder. So call the sheriff and put a stop to
It's
it.
been a motion.
There was a motion made, a vote taken, and it was decided that, well, this was decided years ago though, the camera needed to be in the box. There was a motion made tonight and a vote taken with a yes,
Sheriff and just have him-
that needs to be on
Just
the-
go ahead and call sheriff, man, just have him there.
Hey, I'm telling you two something.
He's
When you
calling-
guys
he's
get
calling
beat
sheriff.
this fall,
Go ahead,
because you guys
Go
won't do
ahead, they're
nothing.
gonna, go ahead, is somebody walking out to do it?
Not what you was. They're coming back in, they, yeah. Where's your call?
What do you think?
It's just ridiculous.
I'll be right back.
I'd be ashamed to act that way.
What do you think, Dan? Give me your consensus.
Are we gonna pay
You
bills?
see what you're
tonight
doing
or
to the
not?
public, Jeff? You're forcing these people out.
We're not leaving, they're all standing out here waiting for the meeting to continue.
Accepting the president to continue the meeting.
You're forcing these people out because they don't want to be on your camera.
Sheriff's on his way, she doesn't want to phone me.
Very good.
He can settle it through writing.
You can't record the people public.
Want to record the sheriff when he gets here? Hey, make sure you flush it, 'cause you stink.
You still recording with your camera, Jeff? Hey, didn't we talk about this communication thing? Do I need to drive to your house to ask you this? Are you still recording on your little camera here in your hand? Yes, no, maybe? Not sure? Don't know what's going on?
Is it on? It's usually Elaine if it's on.
Hey, Jeff, can you hear me? Make sure you get this on your camera. You want to see how a trustee acts? Look at this right here.
No, you can edit that out.
Yeah.
Mr. Bernhardt,
Yes, sir.
if I'm completely understanding, is it against the law to videotape the public when they do not want to be videotaped? I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been in a lot of trouble.
At the beginning of this meeting, there was a motion made, a vote taken, and it passed.
Oh, I already understand that, and going under
Several years ago, there was
right
a,
to freedom of speech, we also
Done
have
years
our
ago
own
also.
freedom to be not
Blue box.
denied be videotaped. If I'm under understanding.
think we're not getting paid by the hour, huh?
While we're waiting on the police, are you guys gonna put my culvert in
Where at?
my driveway?
Check with the county on that there, Paul,
Right.
because you're on a county road.
Well, but I'm still in the county.
County road, though.
County, the county will take care of, talk to them about going over the county road.
I can do it myself, but it's where I have to have it first fixed.
Yeah, I would talk to the county. It's, I mean, we deal with it on the township road, but since you're on the county road, they're talking to them.
That's what he wants.
Right now,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Is your camera still on, Jeff?
Even though you're in our township, I'd love to help you out.
Hey, Jeff.
You know what I mean?
You can put that on your
I know. Jeff. Hey, over here. Right here.
Can't see by the eye.
And if he puts it on, he's got a lawsuit. Because it's taken right here, it's not.
You'd rather be at home.
Another lawsuit, not a lawsuit, another lawsuit.
Oh, it'd be all right.
I've got one coming
But no, on the county road, the county takes care of all that.
I want to make sure it's done right.
here. He refuses to sign my
You
check.
know how things go. You put that culvert in backwards, you know what I mean? They would have to dig it up, buddy.
Yes, he appointed me to sign it, and I can't cash it. Yes, and I still get once every 3 months.
What they say?
Not even months.
They give you details.
They have someone, they're out on my road. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the month before you didn't see me, I get paid once every 3 months. Yes, and you say, I know, but according to Mr. Chorpenning, man, I'm getting freaking rich off you people. You know?
Yeah, I just want everybody to know, just a reminder that he's still videotaping.
I don't care.
Just want everybody to know.
He's wrong, and he knows it. And I flipped him the bird. Get that! That's for you, Mr. Chorpenning. Love ya. Birds fly. Moron. Cheater. See, I'm not even zoning right now. I'm a resident.
Move it, like get my laugh.
Quit. I have Tourette's. Put that on recording. I have Tourette's. Can't help it. Just like Mr. Chorpenning and his medical issue. Don't have to get help until he gets help.
I'm a set your line, I sometimes on this person said I need to move around a little bit.
Now I can make blackberry jelly with your
I know, you let me know. Hey, Dad. Hey, I've eaten at lunchtime, I just don't even know.
It's too good. But I really feel bad it didn't turn
Honey,
out
honey,
jelly.
bar can do it.
That's what it said. Turn the freezer. Wait until we get to the fair. Look at that little waiting room. Do they have clean room? Yeah. You got a nice little room.
don't have to go out there.
I'm the sheriff.
Still recording, Jeff? Hey, Jeff. Jeffrey.
That's all right then.
You can't work yet?
Yeah.
Are we gonna continue with the business at some point or not?
Now you want to talk to me?
I'm asking a
Now do you
question.
want to talk to me?
Are we gonna continue with the business?
Now do you want to talk to me? Are you still
I wanna
recording on your
continue with the
camera?
business.
Answer my question. You're still recording on your camera?
Yes, it's on.
So you're recording.
Yes.
Motion was made, you're not allowed to record.
Everybody heard that, right? That he is still recording.
Yes, he said he's still recording.
I have every right to
But when he
document what
puts that on the
happens.
internet, he'll cut that part out. You do not have the right, when the motion was made,
It's not in the box back there.
the motion was made to put it in the
I
box.
understand that.
And you were not allowed to record the audience, only the trustees, the people at the table, which would be the clerk, or if they wanted the zoning up there, she could get recorded up there,
Plus all cameras have to be in the box.
in the box. But he chooses not to, just like he chose to remove the merry-go-round. He wanted to do it, so he did it. He wants to record the public, so he's recording the public.
I have every right to record what happens at this meeting.
No, you don't have the right to record us here in the audience.
Was-
The motion was made.
Was there or was there not a
It's
motion
a
made?
public meeting and
Yeah.
anything that happens here.
That's right.
The
is
motion
public.
was made, you are not allowed.
Any motion made cannot
Yes, it
supersede
can.
Yeah,
The
anybody's
motion was
rights.
made, it can.
trustees can run the meeting as they see fit.
There was also a motion made 6, 7 years ago that all video recording equipment need to remain in the
In
designated
the
area,
box.
which is
This
not
is the
there.
second time that it's been motioned.
It's not there.
The second time, not the first, second.
Is he in office the first time?
Yes, he was. He was doing the recordings.
We didn't have any trouble until then. Everything went nice and smooth.
You think? Not doing anything?
This is a great way for you to get reelected in 2 years.
Is it here in front of me?
Oh, it'll go in the beacon, how Mr. Chorpenning chooses to do what Mr. Chorpenning wants. Because he is God. He is the ruler. It dictates Bowling Green Township.
Man.
Hey, Ben, how old do you have to be not to be a boy anymore? I thought 30 years old, you were pretty much a man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the cutoff's like 30.
30?
I think it is, yeah.
Did you hit 30?
Not yet.
Damn. So you're still a boy. Grown man has children, owns damn near half of Bowling Green Township, they're gonna call him a boy. The boy is that child sitting right there in the red shirt. Oh yeah, his name is Jeff Chorpenning. He's a baby. He can't follow the rules. I bet your mommy's real proud of you, isn't she?
Sorry about that. Come back.
Yeah.
All right. See ya. Take care.
You guys need to get a handle on the meeting. You are the three that's in charge, you need to handle the meeting. Somehow, some way, whether you like the people or not,
I understand.
you need to get a handle on the meeting. Now, I got more important things to do.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. Hey, Dave,
Right?
these two farmers, they live next to each other. They grew up as kids, their parents owned both farms. And when they got older, the parents bought their parents' farms. And they used to help each other farm, and they stand out in the field one day and just talking about farming. And while the birds flew over. And this one bird took a dropping, hit one off his head, you know, run down the bed. Yeah, I'm not done. But anyway, one farmer looked at him and said, "You want to go get you some toilet paper?" He said, "No, that bird's already in the next county." I thought I'd share a laugh with you all the way. Everyone order pizza. I'll tip you. I just hope everything gets settled, who's right. You know, you can have a camera and can't, you know, so this is going to be a way to determine.
He said Jeff can have whatever Jeff wants.
Well, there's going to be too many records, so, you know, whatever happens, should do this every meeting, you know, that's having all this here. Well, eventually, sure, we'll get tired of coming out here and
The grant never got presented to anybody except for Jeff. All these things add up, look, the grant. Right? The merry-go-round was removed, Jeff's choice. Jeff is making recordings on the audience because Jeff chooses to. And he offered our merry-go-round to another township without anybody's permission.
Yeah.
He does what he wants to do, not what the people want, not what the other elected officials are trying to work with him on. He won't answer anybody's questions. He has paperwork, and people say, "I'd like a copy." Why can't he make the copies prior to coming in? He knows everybody's supposed to have it. I make copies. When I have a report to turn in, everybody gets a copy. Why can't he do the same thing?
maybe
But he chooses to make a
Y'all don't know
mockery
what time
of
day
this
yet?
township.
What's that?
I don't know what time they
And
yet.
trying to make everybody else look like they're the bad guys. It's him.
Yeah, I know.
And y'all wonder why I had rolled out of here tonight.
Did you use it?
No, not yet.
They may not, you have to know where it works, right?
Yeah, because I haven't even started the back yet. We're gonna go ahead and get the muffler fixed.
Nope.
You look at the amendment stuff?
Oh, I can go with another one.
No, I mean, has he spoken?
Oh, no, he wants to speak now. He's waiting, Sheriff will remove him.
He doesn't want to hear himself.
I see him bring the lights down yesterday. That's what Dad said.
I agree with you, man. I think it was absolutely right that they don't come from the highway.
Huh?
I think he was absolutely right that day.
The time you got the truck?
Yeah, when I mower and stuff,
Oh.
talk about that, I think you're absolutely right.
I heard. What about, you talking about your truck, Keaton?
No, when I had a big load of my mower.
Oh, they didn't come get your truck yet?
Oh, no, that's been gone.
I heard you was sitting on the curb crying.
Yeah. I took it over.
Did you?
I'd have been nice enough done that too. I'd have been nice enough done that too.
Yeah.
You may want to buy another one someday. Still looking for work, Ken, or
Oh, yeah.
just got a camera business? You got a camera business?
Oh, okay, Gordon, yeah. Oh, Lord.
Newspapers. They didn't have editor.
Great. Yeah, but it's all.
I like to have a little rain.
We had some yesterday.
Yeah, I was up in Martinsburg when that come. My son called me, I need to go up there get my generator. I need to start it so often. I haven't had it started once.
Still recording the public, Jeff? Jeff? Hey, Jeff?
I don't think he hears you.
Why they ask you, these cameras in this blue area now? I can't tell how it's supposed to be.
This is a thunder.
That storm from down through and come. Here comes somebody. I heard it shouting. Shut the door, Patty, we got.
Lucky thing.
What's that?
Sheriff's here.
We'll step outside.
Get the gun out, get it up here, and back, just go back the other way.
I've seen more around home this year than I've seen before.
Yeah. I haven't seen none for a long time.
I seen one yesterday. It was after dark, I want to hear from my mother.
Yeah, I know.
I had a baby when somebody skinned it for me, but then they deboned it, so I had like that much in a bag. What did you bone it?
I bet we got about 40 rabbits.
Yeah, babies are supposed to be
And
good.
get one better play, but this
Oh,
big.
they try.
He'll run about 200 feet and stop.
Oh,
Here comes the rabbit.
Cooks.
I don't think that's right.
You don't see the
that,
funniest thing.
Cook
That
show that I watch,
dog of
Chop.
mine, that big one,
Oh, yeah.
it chased this
They had
cat.
a thing on testing.
And then turned around and he was running, the cat was
And then
behind
they
him.
had bananas.
The cat was
Testing
chasing
was
the dog.
bananas.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think what I would have done is glazed the bananas and the pineapple.
Is it like cats, does it?
Testicles and then poured the glaze over it.
Yeah, he'll sit and lick
That's
them and the
not-
cat will run around.
Yeah,
But he'll chase
That's
them.
what I would have done.
And then the cat will start chasing the dog.
Yeah, I got that. Cat.
Why? I was told it has to be baby. Yeah, I was told it has to be baby. No, you seem ready to go to public comments, that's why.
Yeah.
be under, it's not this part of it. So we're kind of treats us and try and direct it for his favor.
But he won't answer anything, so that's why people get mad if he answered the questions.
In the spirit.
They got two of them there now.
Can I have a minute of your time, please?
Sure, you get right here.
All right. Two things. Number one, at the request that they do not want the audience recorded, and then you've been advised that recording shall be as a designated spot.
I believe it violates my constitutional rights when people are going to publicly slander me at a public meeting. I have every right to document that, sir.
And they want, if you can't follow by their rules, they want you removed.
Who's they? Who do you speak on behalf of?
The Board of Trustees.
I'm on the Board of Trustees. I don't agree with that.
Let's take a vote.
That's not how laws are made, sir.
Okay. I'm just doing what they're asking me to do, okay? So if you want to record, they have no problem with it. They don't want the audience recorded. If you want to set your recording device over there in the chair,
We've asked him
you
to
can record this way.
I have every right to document what happens at this public meeting.
He does. He does over here.
They're not disputing that, but
Okay.
designated spot right there.
I'm not disturbing the meeting. I'm just documenting what's happening here.
Yes, he is.
And if you have a law to provide me with to show me that I'm in violation of any kind of law, please provide that to me.
Well,
Well, that's-
publicly, every single person in here that you're videoing would have to give you authorization to video them.
Yes.
Otherwise.
Can you show me that law, please?
Oh, I can absolutely show you that.
I'd
But
appreciate
you're gonna
that.
step outside for us to do that.
Sure. Be happy to do that.
First one to sign.
Benji, we'll all sign.
Can we all sign it?
That's what we do get to. That's what we all get to.
I don't want him recording. I'm not
Oh,
signing
yeah,
No,
sign it.
no, hey,
it. No, let him take care of it.
Yeah,
hey,
hold on.
Ours.
Nobody's gonna sign it. He's just gonna show, she's gonna show him that law.
Hey, Bart. What they sign, that's sign in. We all sign those.
Everything can be videotaped.
We all sign it. That means we're all-
He puts me on the internet.
Hey, it should come back.
Well, if we're only going to sign it as soon as they talk to him.
Yeah.
Or the chair, please.
Yeah, that's what I get off. Nobody has to do that law. He's breaking the law. You got your privacy, he's got his privacy. He crossed the line when they took the video. He's he don't have no. He on the internet, what you? I would.
Gonna have to spruce something.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just think the other guy, you pulled left. They want to.
Okay, let me ask the question.
When you're out.
Nobody knows.
Okay, if I get on the internet and I see me on there from Jeff Chorpenning, what do I do?
I've been like this.
See, I've known that, but I was told there's nothing you can do.
Yes, sir.
What do I do?
What a mess.
You look at a lawyer, but everybody chip in together.
You have a
I don't vote for either one of them.
Oh, no. But just break me every lawyer.
So what about our
You looked
conference?
at that, you actually did.
Well, you don't put them that
Vote for
way.
that. Think about the union. Remember that? So you have a lot of people that never come in, never come and take anything else. Well, they're going, and they like this guy, they, I know them.
For the weekend, going to burn this We'll probably have public dispatch and stuff on there next week.
Somebody else is all right.
Little dog. I shouldn't leave my meeting place. I'll stay here for the meeting. Right tomorrow.
7 years. I thought they were sitting on a sandstone wall. And I worked in our job. You see my part of that. So I was sitting there. Sat down, ate there. Pretty much 75 7 right down below. They're not scared. They're not scared. They know what I'm saying. Never see them what's happening.
That's true. Well, I don't want to.
Yeah, my house is better. I was right out walking last week.
That'd be all right.
That'd be good. That'd be.
I don't want to talk on that.
Lord.
I was there watching TV.
It's supposed to get dark. You know, like when I wasn't scared. It can be
think we shut that thing
Yeah, the last meeting. Give me time to review it. I kept calling for 2 weeks. If you're done reviewing it, I know the process. Emailed him right there. You know what? I don't have email. So Jimmy printed it out for me. Yeah.
Somebody's gonna break in still. Not to buy just copies.
Yeah.
You got to buy just copies.
Yeah.
It's a new copy.
Right. That's what I
No, you don't. If you're making copies, that's what you need.
Yeah, just a copy.
You don't make any books.
Yeah. Just a regular copy. Just that you can step on it.
He'll print out the box himself for himself. Oh, yeah, anybody steal stuff off the post office like that, he'll do it. He can clean it, on top of it.
That's a good way to go though, up there.
Here he comes, look out.
Yeah.
Yeah. These crutches, need me more than I need them. Now, see, let me show you. Let me demonstrate. Take these crutches. See? Yeah, they need me more than I need them. Watch.
Still trying to aim it on the public.
Do we get signed planes?
We should be able to turn in time with it. Somewhat. More your business. All right, then. The cold one is back here, then.
This board.
Yeah. There you go, put me in the pocket. Put me in the pocket.
Really looking for trouble.
You know who she's happy, don't you? I'll swear up down, Jack. If I had a head like yours, it should ache. When it quit her, I worry about it.
No, we can actually follow Sharon.